Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of MPL. I hope you're doing well. Don't mind me. It's 8:30 p.m. and I've been up since 4 a.m. So yeah. How's it going, guys? How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm tired.
How are you, Amel Sassy?
That's disrespectful. I go by Amel. No, I'm joking. I'm good. How are you guys? It's so good to be back.
Amel, are you tired of being on our show?
No, I'm honored. I love being here.
Guys, I live with her, and this is not what she tells me in person. Okay.
I don't recall this information.
She's a fan. She's an avid listener. So
I'm a listener.
I want to say, I reached out to them reading weeks like 2-3 weeks ago. And this girl's like, oh no, we have to do it when I get to London because I need my mic system.
I need my mic. I was like, I'm not going on here without my mic.
I don't even have my mic today, so I'm sorry if my audio quality is a bit bad, but I really forgot it. So
I like this mug. Can you show us a closer thing? Where'd you get this?
This is from Starbucks. They have a collection where they make a mug for each province.
You guys, how many siblings do you have? And what number are you?
Can we just talk about this transition? Okay. Liam, actually, Emma, you go first.
You guys want, okay, so I have 3 other siblings. I'm the youngest, so the best. My eldest brother is 28 question mark. My sister is 27, and then my other brother is, I want to say, 24.
Wow. Okay, Randa, how about you?
I have 3 siblings. I'm the second born. I'm a middle child, which is the best. Sorry, Evan.
Oh, middle children have problems.
I have an older sister who's 23. So for reference, I'm 21. I have an older sister who's 23. My second youngest brother is 17. It took me too long. And then my youngest one is 13. He's 13.
Nice.
Actually, I lied. He's 14. This is so
bad. Oh boy. Anyways, hi guys. So I'm like the youngest. I was born after 11 years. The oldest and I, wait, how old is she? Wait, I need to do some math. Hold on. Okay.
See, I'm not the only one.
She's 39. She's 39. Then my second sister, she is 37. And then my brother is 35. Then my other brother is 33. And then I'm 22. Yeah, I was a mistake, but yeah.
Do you really want to disclose that on the internet?
I was a mistake.
Yeah. I was gonna keep on making commentary on the mistake thing, but I was like, never mind.
So how does it feel being the number you are?
Emma, do you want to go first? Listen, you're the guest, so I'm gonna make you go first every time.
Yes, wow, I'm honored. I was gonna let you speak first. How does it feel being the last? Honestly, I like it because, to be honest, you don't have as many responsibilities as the eldest. No expectations. You kind of just go in there living your life, and you get to learn from everyone else. And so you kind of just set the scene. And to be honest, I swear, like, as the youngest child, you kind of literally give everyone your personality. I swear, because I say this all the time. I'm so funny, okay? And literally none of my siblings are funny. They're dead. They're serving nothing. I'm hilarious, okay? So they're coming to me for jokes. I'm laughing, I'm chuckling. So I'm gonna say, as always, youngest people, no, the youngest sibling, always the best.
I will argue that you probably got bits and pieces of your other siblings' personalities, but I will say I can't argue and say that you're not funny because you probably from all the people in my life, you probably make me laugh the most. So
stop.
I'll just come into their place and then she'll be like, why are you here? And I just die of laughter. I'll just be like, you're so beautiful.
That wasn't a joke though.
Yeah. Anyway, shut up. Anyway, so then I'll just be like, "You're so beautiful, Amel," and then she'll be like, "Shut up! Like, get away! Leave me alone!"
I'm
Like
hilarious.
that's how she is.
This doesn't sound like I'm hilarious. This sounds like I'm abusive.
Emotional abuse.
Guys, I promise she's actually funny. Okay.
Yeah, she's really
You
funny.
just have to take our word for it.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah.
What does it feel like to be the youngest for you, Yasmin?
Yo, I hate it. Because see, if there was a small age gap, yes, I would like it. But the thing is, the age gap is so big that there is so much expectation, and like it's hard for them to recognize that I'm a different person, I'm a different generation, and that what they've seen is not applied to me. I understand there's been struggles and everything like that in their lives. And alhamdulillah, I haven't seen what they've seen, but that does not mean that I need to choose decisions based off of them, you know? So yeah.
Okay, now that the youngest siblings went, I can go. Like I said, I'm a middle child. So I'm the second eldest. I don't feel like I feel like I feel indifferent about it. I will say though that the eldest siblings do pave the road for the younger ones. So I'm pretty sure by the time my brother is my age, he's not gonna make stupid mistakes that I make. And he's gonna just be able to get away with a lot of things I couldn't get away with because I did the convincing for my parents that he's not gonna have to do. But also because I'm not the eldest, see, being a middle child is kind of nice because not me trying to sell that being the middle child is okay, because you have an older sibling and you get to see them make mistakes and do stupid things and then you don't do them, and then they could also try to convince your parents to let them do things, and then when it's your turn you could just do them without having to deal with any of the logistics of trying to convince your parents. But then you're also not the youngest, so I feel like by the time the youngest is older, no one cares about them anymore. Is that true?
That statement.
Honestly, that is true because my mom was very laid back with me. Like she was tired. She's like, I raised four, you're enough. Like these four will raise you. So that was the
situation. But isn't that nice, low-key?
No.
Really?
These four have different opinions, they have different views, and they're very, very different from each other. So like the moment it comes to where like I want to make a decision, I get panic attacks because it's like super annoying. But yeah. You know, Randa, can I just say something? You've already made it easy for your brothers, especially the youngest one.
Oh, 1000%. 1000%. And this guy's not gonna have to do anything.
This guy, mashallah, very open, very, very open.
Literally.
You need to share some of his stories in a couple of prompts. You should share some of his stories.
Okay, but honestly, the one thing I'd say I dislike about being a middle child is, and I think any middle child can second this, the middle children are always the peacekeepers, and I'm tired of being a peacekeeper. I want to start a riot. I want to be the annoying one in the household. I want to be, causing. I always have to be the peacekeeper. I have to always like intercede. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intervene.
Or intervene. I always have to intervene in other arguments in the household to make sure that everyone's.
Randa, mashallah, is very, very peaceful. Okay. Especially she is so patient. Like it's with her siblings, so much patience that I don't even have. I've only seen her yell once and fight once with Belsa. That's it. Nothing. Never. Literally, in the past 3 years that I've known her, 2 years, 2.5 years that I've known her, nothing to Belsa.
So this just means that I should start being problematic.
Yes.
Literally. You should. But yeah. Amel, what's your most favorite thing about your siblings and your least favorite thing about them?
Favorite thing? Give me a sec. No, I don't know. Like, I feel like as a youngest sibling, at least in my experience, because obviously I think like the age gap's a little bit like smaller. It's nice to have people who are like close to you in age where you can have like continuous advice. So if you ever need something, if you ever want to know like how something works, you're always there to ask them, and you kind of always get like one step ahead. I remember like back in the day when I was in kindergarten, this is my favorite story because they were going through obviously like high school and whatever, and I was like, I don't want to say kindergarten because no, that's a huge gap. I don't know. Anyways, but whatever. So the teacher goes and she asks us, she's like, oh, what's an acronym? And I was like, oh, like an acronym is obviously like if you shorten the word, whatever, you use it, whatever. And then she's like, okay, class, can you guys give me an example of an acronym? And everyone was like, LOL, things like that. And I pull up and I'm like, DNA. And then she's like, what is DNA? And I was like, deoxyribonucleic. And she's like,
Yes. Damn, you really pulled that out on them.
So it's like, it's small things like that where you're like, you know it.
Literally.
Oh god, DNA.
I love that.
Did I know what DNA meant? No. But did I know what it stood for? Yes.
I love that. I don't know why that's such an Emmett thing.
That's literally me.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Literally, that is so her. 110%, yo. What's your least favorite thing about them?
Least favorite thing? Everything. But like this is always my thing, but like, you know how siblings will always be in your like presence, like they'll always be in your stuff, they'll always be like you always have to share them, like that. But no, it helps sometimes because like I feel like it's nice, it's like a blessing and a curse, I guess is the best way to put it, because like you're always there to like hang with someone, but at the same time you have to share. But yeah.
How about you, Randa?
I think my most favorite thing about having siblings is you can never get bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like want to bother someone, or if I don't know, you just have nothing to do, literally just go bother one of your siblings. They're very entertaining. Another thing that I like about having siblings is I don't know, it's just really nice to have people who know everything about your life, so that when you need help or you need to share something really personal with them or anything like that, they know you like the most than anyone else on the planet. And so it's just really nice, it's very comforting, I don't know, that you always have like a group of people that will always be there for you, that know you for who you really are. I really, really like that about having siblings. My least favorite things, let me pull out an essay. No, I'm joking. My least favorite things about having siblings, I don't think I have one particular thing. I'm trying to think. Like, should I give you guys pet peeves?
Sure.
I'm gonna call my sister out right now. Okay. She does this thing. If you walk into her room and you leave and you don't shut the door, she's gonna start a riot. Okay. This girl will yell at you. But when she goes into your room, she will leave and she will never shut the door. Ever. I don't think it's ever happened in my lifetime where she'll shut the door. And I'm like, if this is something that bothers you so much, why do you do it to other people? Come on. And then my brothers do the same thing. So you know what? I'm gonna give them all the same thing. Just shut the door when you leave the room. That's it. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Wow.
I don't know why I got so heated about it. But
for me, it's like because we have such a big age gap, like they've always provided for me. So like whenever they go shopping or anything and I'm like with them, I'll like grab something. I'll be like, yes, I'm gonna get this. And don't worry, I'll pay for it. And they're like, no, we'll pay for it. Like you're the youngest. Why would you pay for it? I'm like, okay, you can pay for it.
That's also true. I only have one older sibling, but it's true. The older siblings always get you things.
Yeah, literally. And like you go out with them and then they're like, oh, we're gonna get ice cream with the kids. I'm like, okay, I'll come with you. And that way I get ice cream too, you know? So so that's my favorite thing about them. Like they have big hearts, you know? My least favorite thing about them is that because they're so older and everything, you know, they think they know everything. So it's like I'm talking to a wall. So that's it.
You
By
guys
the
know-
way, I'm like not trying to have like a therapy session or anything like that. I'm literally just stating facts.
Yeah.
Like
I was just gonna be like, it's because you guys have like such a big age difference that you guys see things differently too.
exactly. And like it's just like a life lesson for people. Like, don't have big age gaps between your kids. Like, they connect well with each other. They have like, they make jokes and everything. They understand each other's jokes. I don't, so I'm, even when we're gathered as a family, I usually hang out with my nieces and nephews because I understand them better. I can't, like, I don't understand their jokes and I don't understand what they're talking about because that ain't my vibe. So yeah, I could have middle child syndrome.
Listen, why are you trying to come for my brand?
No,
Or-
because like, I don't treat my nieces and nephews like my nieces and nephews. I treat them like my siblings. Like because
I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do treat them like your siblings. Maybe you do actually have middle child syndrome because of that.
Yeah, maybe I do. For the longest time, I was jealous of my eldest niece.
Oh my god.
Literally, me and her would pull each other's hair.
Yo, do they call you by the first name? By your first name, sorry?
No, so they have a teacher, and her name is Miss Yasmin.
Mm.
So whenever they say my name, they're like, "Oh, her name is Miss Yasmin." But otherwise, they just call me Mina.
Okay.
That's my nickname.
Cute.
So yeah. Anyways, so Amel, what's the best memory you've had with your siblings?
I think the best memory I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna cut that. No, that's too personal. I'd say my best memory, but it also ties into like the next question. I'd say there was this one time, it was me and my brother just chilling, whatever, chuckling, having a laugh, and I was like, what, like maybe like 6 years old, maybe 4. And like we were playing around with a hammer, and I guess he said something really funny. And I just went boom to his head. And like you might be thinking like whatever, like, oh, I'm sure it was just a light tap. No, I hit him with the arm strength. And so we have to get stitches, I think. So best of luck. It's okay.
What do you mean?
So I think that's my
Oh
favorite
my
memory,
God.
at least one of them, because I think that was top tier quality content.
Remind me to never put a hammer in your presence.
I mean, I'm like what, 21 now?
Wait, how old were you back then?
Like maybe 6, 5.
Same age,
Oh
same
my
thing.
God.
19. No, I'm joking.
Oh my God, sis. I'm like, oh,
I love
that
how- wait, can we just talk about how that was her favorite memory?
literally,
She was literally causing harm to other. I can't.
Throwback Thursday.
Can I tell you guys something? Okay, it's not similar, but it's somewhat similar. So my brother, he was like, "Can you bring me a shish kebab stick?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then I'm like, "Let's see if I can poke you, right?" And I grab the shish kebab stick and I throw it at him, and it goes into his head.
Wait, was it one of the metal ones?
No, it was a wooden one, a bamboo one.
How did it go into his head?
And
How
then
hard
it just
did you
went
throw
in
it?
and it just stuck there and it just stood out. And then he just pulled it out like this. And I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm okay, I think. So yeah.
You guys are aggressive.
That's not my favorite story, my favorite memory with them.
I will tell you, speaking of siblings causing harm to each other, I'll tell you guys one story. Emmett, I told you the story a couple of days ago, so sorry, you're gonna have to hear this again. There was like a park in the neighborhood we lived in, and there was a slide in that park, and it wasn't one of the curly slides, it was one of the ones that just go straight down. Okay, so I was sitting at the top of the slide, and I think I was like 10 years old. I think, yeah, I was 10, and my youngest brother was 6. Yes, I think he was 6. So I was sitting at the top of the slide, okay, and my younger brother wanted to get on the slide, and apparently I was taking too long to get down. So instead of pushing me down the slide, he pushes me over. So like he could have just pushed me down so I can get out of his way. No. he pushed me over and I literally fell on my head on the ground and he didn't care. He didn't come back to check if I was okay. He didn't do anything. And the funniest part was my dad didn't even see all of this happen. He was sitting reading his newspaper and I just fell off the slide. My brother pushed me off.
Oh my god.
I can't. But yeah.
That's your favorite memory?
That's not my favorite memory, but it's just a funny story that I thought of right now. What is my favorite memory? I'm trying to think of something that includes my favorite memory. This is actually during the time it happened, it was very distressing, but afterwards it's just funny to think about. A couple of years ago we went to Chicago and on the way back our car stopped working. And the part of the car that stopped working were the brakes. So at some point, my dad got off the highway and he was trying to get into a gas station, but it was uphill and the brakes weren't working. And the gas pedal stopped working too. So we were literally going uphill. We can't use the gas pedal and the brakes are failing. So the car starts rolling backwards. So my dad's holding onto the brakes and he's like, you guys get out of the car. And my little brother, he gets down from the car. Him and Bilsam, by the way, I don't know what they were thinking. If you see my siblings, they're all such tiny people, okay? They go stand at the back of the car and they're like, we're gonna hold the car. And I'm like, are you stupid? Like so dumb. And my little brother was like, I took him out of the way. And then he holds onto the door. He's like, I don't want Baba to fall alone. He's gonna fall alone. And I was like, bro, he's fine. Let go of the door. You're gonna get crushed. And so that all was really funny. At the time it wasn't funny, but now thinking about it, it's funny because they were saying the most stupid things ever.
I'm dead, bruh. I'm dead. That's funny.
Imagine this, I'm trying to push a car uphill.
Literally, that's the part that because I'm trying to imagine it and I'm like, I
This
can't.
girl would be crushed into pieces. She'd be like flat. Literally. My best memory with my siblings literally is like whenever they'd come home and would just be like, oh, let's go to the mall. And we would all go to the mall, like go shopping together, or we would go to the States together, outlets, and we would shop till we dropped, literally. And I do not know why, but like in the States, candy apples are the best. Like so
That's
good.
very specific.
Yeah, I just remember eating candy apples with my siblings and we're just fighting for like the piece with the most caramel. Yeah. What's the best prank you've played on them?
I already answered that one.
That was not a prank.
That was not a prank.
That was a great prank. You know those YouTubers who are like, it's a prank, bro.
Yeah, and then oh my god, I can't. If that's your idea of a prank, you need to seek therapy.
No, my favorite, like, okay, this is my favorite prank, but it doesn't really involve, I guess it kind of involves my siblings, but we used to do this thing to our mom whenever she'd take a nap, because she doesn't like napping that much, whatever. Anyways, if she ever took a nap, we'd go in and we'd change all the like times on the clock. And like we do it so that it would be like late at night. And so like if she took a nap at like 4 p.m, whatever, especially like daylight savings, whatever, you'd make it so that it's like 8 p.m. or like 9 or even like 12. My favorite thing, because this lady will literally wake up and she'll be like, what? Like so
and you're actually so evil. You're telling me all these stories that I never knew about you.
Like I'm detailed about it too. Like I go to the oven, I go
This girl.
Oh my god. I would not want to be your mom because your mom probably had to go back and
Yo, I want to do this one day. Yo, I want to do this.
It's so funny. It's literally
I'm gonna do it to you, Amel. The day before you have an exam, could you imagine?
Yo, I'd cry. I'd literally cry.
Oh god. Damn.
Okay, I actually have one, and this one lasted for years. Okay. When we were kids, and it lasted for years because I literally forgot it happened, but I sang a song one time and I told my sister it was by so-and-so, like a real artist. Okay. And I made it up. I made up all the words. It wasn't a legit song. For years, this girl sang the song thinking it was real. And then one day she was singing it and I was like, by the way, did I ever tell you that I literally made that up and it's not real? And she was like, no way. This was in high school. I told her this in high school. I made up this song when I was in elementary school. Huh?
Sing it.
I'm not singing the song.
She said singer-songwriter.
But yeah, she literally fell for it. And for
okay, sing it, but I'll cut it out.
No, I'm not saying it.
We'll cut it out.
No.
Oh God.
Do I even
Anyway.
remember the words to it? I don't know. It was in Arabic.
Oh, damn. Randa's also a songwriter, you guys. Oh boy. So let me tell you guys a story. We used to live in an apartment building, and we had just gotten cable, and we got cable like after what, 8 years. And what happened was there was this show called Prank Patrol on YTV.
I was like,
And
no.
there's like, do you want to do a at-home prank? And they would just show you a quick 5-minute prank. So what you would do is you'd get Kool-Aid crystals, and you had to open the shower tap, and you had to put the Kool-Aid crystals in and plug the shower tap back. Okay. Me and my brother, we do it and we plan, and we're like, okay, we're gonna do this and we're gonna get it all done, and we're gonna make sure this sibling gets pranked, and we'll make sure our mom gets pranked. And then like an hour or 2 hours later, my mom's like, Yasmin, get up, go shower, we're going to your aunt's house. And I'm like, okay.
And you forgot, didn't you?
And yeah, okay. So then I go, and Yasser, my brother, he's looking at me, and he's like, Yasmin. And I'm like, what do you want? He's like, Yasmin. And I'm like, do you need something? And he's like, no. And then he's like, let mom go first. And I'm like, no, but I want to go first. She takes a million years. Right. And then he's like, okay. And I go, and I started screaming. I'm like, there's blood. My head is bleeding. There's blood. And then my mom like opens the bathroom door. She's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And then she comes into the shower, and like the water, she's looking at the water, and it's like red, and like some of it goes into her mouth, and she's like, this is juice. And then Yasser comes in too. By the time my mom put a towel on me, don't worry. And he's like, I literally told you. And I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot. The worst thing you could do is choose red crystals. Like, don't do red crystals. Like, that freaks the shit out. Literally. Always do like blue or green or something like that. But yeah, that day, for a couple of days, my hair, my entire body smelled like Kool-Aid. Yeah, very nice. It wasn't a prank on my siblings, but it was like a prank that I did with them that failed. So yeah.
I'm gonna jot that one down. I'm gonna take notes. I'm like,
I feel like that's something Emmett would do, 100%.
literally sounds like fun. I'm like, ooh. I'm thinking about it. Yolanda, no, sorry, not Yolanda. Sorry.
We don't share the same bathroom though. So
okay, and be on the lookout.
Amel, I'll help you, okay?
We'll plan this out.
Okay. Yo, what's it called? Speaking of pranks, like, did you and your siblings ever play prank or do anything that got you guys in super duper trouble? Can I go first?
yeah, go.
Okay. So when I was like 2 or 3 years old, my mom, she would be like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, everyone go to sleep. And that time, what's it called? There was like, in the apartment that we lived, there was like a line cable. So everyone in the apartment got the same cable. It was just like a weird system. And so my mom was like, hey, it's time to sleep and everything. We would all sneak out of our beds, and we would plug in the cable, because before we would go to sleep, my mom would unplug it and she would try to hide the cord. We'd find the cord, we'd plug it in, and we'd sit down and we'd watch. We'd watch like Chucky, we watched so many scary movies. And then this one time she got so mad, she pulls the cable and she's like swinging. Swinging it. And then she's like, you're never gonna see this again, and she's like swinging it, like, and we're like, okay, and my brothers are like, okay, and everyone runs to their beds and everyone goes to sleep, and I was unlucky when I had to go to sleep with her, because I was like 2 or 3 then. And so, yeah, I ran to bed and I protected myself with a blanket. And yeah, we didn't get a beating then, thankfully. But that was usually the case with us, that we would do it secretly and we'd get like rodeo.
My dad does that with my brothers and their PlayStation. But that reminds me, this is actually, it goes back to the question of what your favorite memory is. When we were younger, my sister and I sometimes at like, if we can't sleep, because you know when you're kids, your parents are like super strict about your sleep and they make sure that you're sleeping before they go to sleep. So we'd act like we're sleeping, and once we're sure that our parents are asleep, one of the houses we lived in, the kitchen had a door, so it's not like, it wasn't like an open concept type of house. The kitchen was a whole room in its own, and so we used to, at like 2 a.m. we'd go into the kitchen, we'd lock the door, and we'd make chicken nuggets and fries at like 2 a.m. And our parents didn't figure it out for a really long time. But once our parents did figure it out, my dad started locking the kitchen. Because he was like, what the hell? You guys are frying chicken nuggets and fries at 2 a.m. on a school
How old
night.
were you guys?
Huh? I think I was in middle school. Like, we weren't that young. But yeah.
Yo, that was your thing, but that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We used to do it all the time. It was so much fun.
Your mom's like,
yeah.
where did these chicken nuggets go? How about you, Emma?
If I've ever gotten like in trouble, because obviously like I'm the middle, oh no, I am the youngest child, so I don't get in trouble. But I remember there's like this one time where it was like late at night and like my dad was driving whatever, and we were trying to get home, and it was like a very eerie kind of neighborhood where it was like there's no other drivers, whatever. And my brother goes and he looks at me, he's like, oh yeah, you know what will help him a lot, like he jokingly says this, but I think like serious. He goes and he's like, oh, like use your DS as a flashlight so he can see. So I go and I open up my DS and I'm sitting there like just chilling the whole time, and I'm holding it up and I'm like trying to get him to see, because I want us to like get home safe, whatever. And then the whole time my dad's like, he's like kind of getting agitated, whatever, and he's like, who is this man who keeps trailing me?
No.
He's like, why is this car following me? Because he's looking in the rear view mirror and it like, or the little thingamabob, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's like headlights or whatever, but it's me just chilling in the back of my DS, thinking it's getting time to see him, and he's like,
So
oh
cute.
God.
Oh my God.
He's like, is that you in the back? And I was like, yeah, it's me.
That's really funny.
I wanted to help.
Guys, can I share one more story? This is not relevant to pranks or anything, but I just think it's a funny story. When Vincent and I were kids, we used to take gymnastics, okay? And Yasmin, did I tell you the story before?
I think so.
Holy, Emma, did I tell you the story?
I have no clue.
Okay, so Vincent and I used to do gymnastics, and one day I came home and I was like, so some of the tricks they teach you do them on a trampoline, because if you do them on the floor, you're not supposed to do them on the floor. You're supposed to rely on the bounce of the trampoline. So I was like, when I get home, I'm gonna jump off my mattress and land on my butt on the floor, the same way we used to do it on the trampoline. And I expected that I would bounce back like I would on a trampoline. Physics, okay? It just works. In my head, it works. So I told my sister I was gonna do it, and she was like, you idiot, it's not gonna work. You shouldn't do it. That's all she told me, by the way. She didn't tell me, like, you'd expect my older sister to be older and to understand things properly and be like, oh, this might actually get you injured. No, she just said, oh, it's not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. You shouldn't do it. So anyways, I jump off the bed and I fall on my butt. I couldn't breathe. And Benson was watching all of this go down, okay? So I'm trying to communicate to her that I can't breathe, because I actually couldn't breathe. And I was just like trying to sign language to her somehow, some way. First, I don't know why I didn't think of writing it down. I don't know. Anyways, I couldn't breathe. And so for like more than a minute, I was like, bro, I can't breathe. Eventually I started breathing again. I think it was just my diaphragm was in shock. I looked it up years later, and so it wasn't moving up and down like it's supposed to. But a minute later, it was back to normal. But yeah, my sister almost killed me by not understanding that I couldn't breathe.
No, don't blame it on her.
I'm blaming it on her. I don't care.
Damn, Randa. Holy
Oh, and
smokes.
after that, by the way, my parents took me out of gymnastics because they were like, she's an idiot. So
Oh, they found out?
yeah, because so I don't know how this happens, but basically at some point I was like, I'm going to die because I wasn't breathing for a really long time. So I was like, maybe if I try screaming, it'll help. It actually worked. Like I tried so hard to scream, and eventually I just started screaming. And I remember my dad was praying. He literally in the middle of his prayer, he stopped praying and he ran to our room because I screamed so loud and he thought something happened. But yeah, the screaming helped because I was like, it's either I scream or I die. So
Whoa.
yeah.
What happened after you screamed? Like, what did they say?
My sister explained to them and he was like, you're actually an idiot. And for a while after that, my back hurt really bad, but I mean, I'm fine now. So
Damn. Okay, let's
the
get
woman was too stunned to speak. That's it.
Damn.
Thinking like, why would like
I don't know what my reasoning was. That was just the way, like.
I was put in gymnastics for a week and I sat by the chalk the whole time. I didn't do anything the whole time. I was sitting there going,
Wow, this is cool. I wonder what's the acronym for this.
that's literally me. Oh my goodness. But no, I because you're supposed to put like chalk on before you go on the bars or whatever to protect your hands or I don't know, something. But I sat there and I was like, I'm not doing anything. So
Damn, girl.
more you know.
Yeah. Here, let's go and let's get to some wow, there's something in my eye. Let's get to some serious topics right now. Holy smokes, there's something in my eye. Oh boy. Anyways, let's go into serious topic right now. How do you deal with conflicts between your siblings, you guys? I'm just gonna simply answer I don't. Like it's so hard. Like you just don't talk to them for a few days and then you become friends again.
Go for it. Amel.
I'm trying to think because like for me, I'm very much like if there is a conflict, I keep my distance for like a couple of hours because I know if I get heated, I'm gonna say something. So like I'll walk away from the scenario and like my siblings are pretty much the same way. So they'll cool off and like we'll just get back to normal after we like talk for a few minutes. Back in the day, my dad mainly, but like also kind of my mom too, if ever we got into a fight with our siblings, they would do like this like ceremony where you'd have to hug them and you have to be, oh, like I appreciate you, I love you, thank you. And like you had to do that if you like ever got into a fight. I don't do that as much now. But like yeah, I'd say yeah, mainly that like if ever conflict arises, we just keep our distance for like a couple hours. Because like sometimes I do think like the longer you keep it might be a little bit harder, especially if it's a bigger conflict. But yeah, like just keep her cool, kind of think it over. Talk to your mom, try to convince her that you're right. And then go and you'll be like, yeah.
With my sisters, I feel like I'm like we'll fight and then an hour later I'll just call them like, yeah, so what's up? Even if it gets super big, like we call each other out and then like we solve it. But with like my brothers, whatever.
For me, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like similar to Emma, if I ever arguments with my siblings are pretty rare at like my age at this point, but when we do argue, I think we all collectively don't trigger each other. Once we realize we're having an argument, we'll all like step away and then revisit it once we've cooled down. But we've also, I think, like a lot of times with siblings, I feel like sometimes I think generally speaking, most siblings can relate to this at some point in their life, in their relationship with their siblings. They'd get into an argument with their siblings and then they don't hear each other out. Make sure you hear each other out, especially if you're actually having like not like a petty argument, like, oh my god, who took my food from the fridge? I mean, actually that's serious, don't touch my food, but But like if you're having a more serious argument, make sure you actually talk about it and address it. Don't just brush it under the rug, because that doesn't help anyone. So yeah.
That is true. Like if it's something serious, you do need to talk it out. Because after all, like, it's family. Like, I understand like the Western concept is like you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. So choose like, you can't that is something important. But the underlying thing in the Western world is like your family's not good, so choose another family and choose them wisely. But in Islam there's something called silta raham, and after our parents are not going to be there for a while, after a while, right? And what else do we have left with our bloodlines, right? It's our siblings. So it's important.
And I also think people think because like your siblings are your family that they will put up with you irrespective of like how much you argue with them or yell at them or hurt their feelings or whatever. But you also need to understand that like, yeah, they'll probably stick to you for your entire life, but that doesn't mean you necessarily need to put them through all of that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
you need to understand they're human. Just like you're human, they're human. That brings me to the last prompt. Is there any advice you would have to people who are having a hard time getting along with their siblings?
I'd say like I think the biggest thing is sometimes I feel like it's best to, like, if you have multiple siblings, hang out with them one-on-one and really like spend time with them, like do something for the day, and like step away from being at home all the time. Because sometimes if you're in your like personal space all the like it gets a little like heated, whatever, especially if you're younger. But when you go out, you have time to like see them in a different light. And I often see that like especially when you get older and as you grow up together, you'll start to see them in a whole new, environment. They start to become a lot more mature. And you kind of get to see them for the person or the people that they actually are, which is always great. But I think when it comes to having a sibling, it's always like a two-way street, like any relationship. So just as much as you want them to hear you out, you also need to hear them out too. And talk about things and just try to find like a common ground. And if you do have a common ground, talk about that, share it, watch, like a TV show together. You can even sit in silence. That's okay. Spending time together is always equally as fun. And then you can build up to obviously having the ability to talk about like bigger concepts and sharing those pieces of your life. But yeah.
I love that, Amel. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yasmin, do you want to go or should I go? Everything Amel said, I was gonna call you Lima. Everything Amel said, everything Amel said was on point. But one thing I want to mention, and this doesn't only apply to your siblings, I think this applies to family in general, is that in order for you to have a meaningful relationship with someone, loving someone isn't enough. You have to put in the effort to understand them as a understand who they are as a person and cater to that, because different people want to be loved in different ways. And so if you want to have a meaningful relationship with your sibling, like Emil said, like just see them, like as you get older, you do see them in a different light, and just try to understand that they're a different person than you and they've had different experiences. They have different perspectives on things. And by the way, it's for me, I remember when we were younger, my sister and I it's not that we used to not get along, but I don't think we had the relationship we do today. And that was mainly because we were very, very different as people and we couldn't understand that as kids. But now that we're older, we understand our differences. And once you understand like why someone is the way they are, or that, oh, they just have a different personality and that doesn't make you a bad person or them a good person. You're just different people. And that definitely helps you get along with your siblings and your family in general. But yeah.
I really love what both of you said. I'm just gonna give an example. Like I feel like it's important that you guys know what especially when you get older, like know what their love language is. Like I know like a lot of people are like, oh no, that's like something for your significant other. No, if you really want a good relationship with your siblings, and on the basis of Islam as well, find out what their love language is. So for mostly in my family, I feel like it's acts of service. And so like my sisters, they'll be like, hey Yasmin, can you come and do this for me? Can you come and help me clean and that kind of stuff, and I will clear out my schedule, and and I'll be like, yeah, for sure, I'll come and I'll clean with them, fight with them, and I'll still clean with them, and in that cleaning we'll like cry and yell at each other or something. Like there's always emotions in it because we're girls. But at the end, they'll say thank you, and I'll be like, oh no, thank you for having me and thank you for the food, and then like after that they'll be like, oh, do you need anything from Freshco or anything like that? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to pay you back, right? Because I did this for you, so you have to do this for me, right? So then like we make this like joking relationship too, and just I understand life gets tough and everything, but you don't have to make everything super serious, like especially with your family. Like it should be easygoing, just relax, sit back and enjoy life. Like Emma said, like find a common ground, watch a scary movie together if that's something you all would like. Oh, I also want to say this. I know that in our bro, where'd you go?
No, continue.
Okay. So I know that like in Western culture, it's like, oh, they're just your sibling, you don't need to give them respect or anything. You need to remember, even as a younger sibling, that you need to give your older siblings respect, and they will give you respect. But even because that they're older, even in Islam, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given my sister a status as a mother to me, both of my sisters, even my brothers. So I do have to give them that respect as mothers and fathers because of the work they've done for me. So if you're in the situation as me, you need to make sure you are giving them that respect and that time and the effort. So yeah.
100%. I think, yeah, definitely to your older siblings, treat them with respect. And I think as well, if you are an older sibling, remember that, yeah, well, obviously the other person is younger than you. You should also still treat them with respect. I feel like I'm very grateful to have had siblings who, kind of value like my opinion, whatever. So I think like the worst thing is like when a sibling will go and they'll be like, oh, like, you're kind of young, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think having that perspective and being able to contribute is like it makes you feel like you're heard and kind of lets you know that you're understood and appreciated, which I think is very much equivalent to respect. So respect is, I think, very much a two-way street. But yeah.
I also think like older siblings, you need to give the younger sibling space to join in, especially if there's such a big age gap and there's a generation gap too. You need to put yourself in each other's shoes, especially the youngest person's shoes, because if they're the only youngest one there and then there's 5 people of a different generation and they're the only one that's in one generation, they completely feel left out and they're lost and confused, right? So it's important that you open your mind and you respect them for who they are and you give them some space. So yeah.
Also, one thing I wanted to say this earlier, when Yasmin was talking about love languages, sometimes I know Yasmin and Emma both said you can find a common ground, but sometimes you actually have to go out of your way to do things with your siblings that you might not enjoy that much, but they really, really like. You have to go the extra mile if you actually, and I think this applies to people you love in general, not only your siblings, but any family member, your friends, your significant other. Sometimes you're going to have to do things that they really enjoy that maybe you don't enjoy that much, but you just do it for the sake of having quality time with them and making them feel appreciated and loved. So there's that.
Yeah. 100%. Like, for example, like sometimes my sister is like, oh, I really would like it if you come, and I'm like, I don't want to come because there's certain people there and I don't like them. But then like my mom will remind me, but like, you know, your sister called you herself and she wants you to come. So maybe like just go for her, you know? And I go for her, and then the smile that she has on her face, I'm super happy that I went, you know? And then she gets me ice cream. You know, so because she got me ice cream, I'm like, it was totally worth it. By the
Guys,
way, I'm not materialistic. I'm just
yeah.
like to add it as a joke. But
We
yeah.
should start a counter in this episode. How many times Yasmin mentioned ice cream? Like 5 million.
Really? Dude, I love it. I love it so much. Okay, by the way, everyone, if you guys ever go to McDonald's, get a McFlurry, an Oreo McFlurry with a caramel shot. So good. Chef's kiss. I don't even think chefs make ice cream, but whatever.
All right, guys, that is all we have for you guys today. On today's episode, we were joined by Amel, and we talked all about our siblings, really. I promised there was no shit talking. Am I allowed to say that word? Anyways, we talked about what we like about our siblings, what we don't like about our siblings, how we get along with them, and any advice we have for people who are having trouble getting along with their siblings. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a super chill, laid back one. But yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, inshallah. Salam.
Assalamualaikum.
Oh no.
Come on, do it.